Hi everyone, I am Avvamath Aneena, Tutor cum Neuroscience Technologist from the Department of Neuroscience in Yenepoya School of Allied Health Science and deemed to be University. Today I will be discussing about the topic Understanding Electromyography. Let's begin with the specific learning objectives. At the end of the session, the learner will be able to define electromyography and explain its basic principles, describe the anatomy and physiology of skeletal muscle relevant to EMG recording, classify different types of needle electrodes used in EMG, and explain the techniques involved in EMG recording. Let's look into the introduction. What is electromyography? Electromyography measures the electrical signals generated by the muscle fibers. It shows the activity of motor unit during the muscle contraction and when the muscle is at the rest. It helps in detecting nerve or muscle disorders. Both needle electrodes or surface electrodes can be used. Needle electrodes is muscle to recording and the surface electrode is placed in the skin. Next, we will be looking into the anatomy of muscle. Those are relevant to the EMG recording. Principal organ used for the locomotion is skeletal or voluntary muscles. Skeletal muscle is composed of muscle fiber, which is the functional and structural unit of the muscles. These muscle fibers arranged in group or bundles is known as fascicles, surrounded by the sarcolemma, which act as a protecting layer or covering. Also sarcolemma generates electrical activity. These activities are recorded in the EMG. Muscle fibers contain myofibrils. These are the unit of muscle fibers. It also contains sarcomeres, which has thick and thin filaments that is known as actin and myosin. When the actin and myosin slide each other, their sarcomere shortens and there will be the muscle contraction. Motor unit consists of a single alpha motor neuron and all the muscle fiber it innervates. Neuromuscular junction is the site where nerve impulses initiate muscle fiber action potential. Neuromuscular junction where the motor nerve connects with the muscle fiber. When the nerve impulses reaches the junction or the synaptic cleft, which produces the release of acetylcholine, which leads to end plate potential in the muscle fiber, which initiates the muscle contraction. Next, we will be looking into the types of needle electrode used in the EMG recording. There are 4 types of needle electrodes used in the EMG recording. The first one is concentric needle electrode. It is the most commonly used electrode in the clinical practices. It consists of 24 to 26 gauge needle with fine wire in its lumen. The active electrode is referred to the shaft of the needle. It reduces the muscle noise by only recording from the single muscle. The second type is monopolar needle electrode. It is a solid 22 to 30 gauge Teflon coated needle with a bare tip of approximately 500 μm in diameter. The motor unit potentials recorded by the monopolar electrode slightly higher amplitude and longer duration compared to the concentric needle. It is because of the usage of additional reference surface electrode, which should be moved with each recording. So this is the major disadvantage of monopolar needle electrode. Single fiber needle electrode. It only records from a small area of 25 μm square on the side opposite to the bevel of the needle. It only records from a small area, so it cannot be used for the estimation of complete motor unit size. It is employed to study about the neuromuscular transmission abnormalities such as jitter and blocking and fiber density. The last type of needle electrode is macro electrode. It consists of 50 mm steel cannula with a side port of 10 mm behind the tip, exposing 25 mm platinum wire. It records from a large number of muscle fiber which are innervated by a single motor unit. It records along the shaft of the needle. If an SF needle is attached to the macro electrode in the mid shaft, it helps in separating the single muscle fiber from the entire motor unit. So these are the 4 types of needle electrodes used in the EMG recording: concentric, monopolar, single fiber and macro EMG. Next, we will be looking into the recording techniques. For EMG of each muscle, the following steps should be followed. Select the muscle as per the clinical diagnosis. Instruct the patient how to contract and relax the muscle. Identify the muscle relaxing the muscle. When one muscle is contracted, the muscle next to will be relaxing. Locate the needle motor unit so it will be we can prevent the end plate noise. Insert the needle quickly when the muscle is relaxed to minimize the pain. After the needle insertion, if the patient is making a small movement, there will be a sharp MU piece. If there is no sharp MU piece, the needle should be repositioned. While recording EMG, the 3 types of activities are studied: insertional activity, spontaneous activity, evaluation of MUP or voluntary activity. Insertional activity. When the needle is introduced to the muscle, there will be a brief burst of electrical activity. It is due to the mechanical damage caused by the needle movement. It only exceeds to 0.5 to 1 second. It appears as positive or negative high frequency spikes in a cluster. If after the needle movement, if the end plate potential lasts for more than 300 microseconds, it is considered to be increased insertional activity. At least 4 to 6 brief needle movements should be made to assess the insertional activity. Insertional activity may be increased in denervated muscle and myotonia, and it is reduced in periodic paralysis during the attack and myopathies when the muscle is replaced with the connective tissue or the fat. We can also see increased insertional activity in normal individuals, especially in young muscular subjects such as bodybuilders. It can be diagnosed if the increased insertional activity is widespreadly distributed. These are the insertional activity we see in the EMG recording: normal, decreased and increased insertional activities. Next we will look into the spontaneous activity. After the insertional activity, the next activity we see is spontaneous activity. If the needle is inserted into the motor unit, we will see it a spontaneous activity originating from the NMJ or terminal axon. It is end plate noise or end plate spike. In the normal individuals, there is no spontaneous activity after the insertional activity. Abnormal spontaneous activity include the following: spontaneous activity originated from muscle fiber, fibrillation and positive sharp waves, myotonic discharges, complex repetitive discharges. Spontaneous activity originated from motor neuron or axon, fasciculation, doublet, triplet, multiplets, myokymia, neuromyotonia, cramps. These are the spontaneous activity we see in the EMG recording: end plate spikes, positive sharp wave, fibrillation, fasciculation, neuromyotonic discharges and myokymic discharges. The next activity we see during EMG recording is evaluation of MUPs. After the insertional and spontaneous activity, the next step of needle EMG is evaluation of MUP on voluntary contraction. We will ask the patient to make a small movement with the muscle we are recording. The basic unit of peripheral nervous system is the motor unit, which involves lower motor neuron, axon, NMJ and muscle fibers. The MUP seen in the EMG recording is the sum of muscle action potential supplied by an anterior on cell. It has a higher amplitude and longer duration than the action potential produced by the single muscle fiber. MUPs are assessed for their morphology, stability and firing pattern. This is how the MUPs will look in the EMG recording. Interference. When the patient is asked to make a voluntary contraction or a strong action, there will be a dense pattern of multiple electrical potentials, which is known as interference pattern. Less dense pattern may occur with the loss of motor unit, poor effort, upper motor neuron lesion or in a strong muscle. The latter three can be differentiated if there is a normal firing pattern. If there is an abnormal firing pattern, it is considered to be loss of motor unit. This is how the trace of interference pattern will look into the EMG recording. This is how the interference pattern will see in the EMG recording: the normal trace, neuropathic trace, myopathic trace. Let's summarize the topic. Electromyography. It is a diagnostic technique used to evaluate the electrical activity of muscle and nerves supplying them. It helps in identifying neuromuscular disorders. Muscle anatomy relevant to EMG. It includes muscle fibers, sarcolemma, motor end plate and motor units. A motor unit consists of lower motor neuron, axon, neuromuscular junction and muscle fiber it innervates. It records the electrical activity generated by these muscles. Needle electrodes. There are 4 types of needle electrodes used to record muscle activity in EMG. The main types include monopolar needle electrode, concentric needle electrode, single fiber and macro electrode. Each differ in structure and recording area. Recording techniques in EMG involve insertional activity, spontaneous activity at rest, motor unit potential analysis during voluntary muscle contraction. MUPs are assessed for their amplitude, duration, shape and firing pattern. Overall, EMG provides valuable information about the muscle function, nerve integrity, neuromuscular transmission, aiding in accurate diagnosis and management of neuromuscular conditions. These all are the references I have used in these topics. Thank you.